My name is Svenja Zaminski. I'm Managing Director, Climate and Sustainability at Marsh McLennan, which is a global risk management and insurance broker firm. Well, a resilient grid is one that functions, that doesn't face disruption because of shocks. So when we talk about this in the context of climate impacts, the physical climate impacts, adaptation and resilience means that we understand how the climate is already sort of posing pressure on our systems through floods, through droughts, through heat waves, through fires. And how we actually then starting to build that into our systems. And whenever we invest in new infrastructure, when we try and adjust our systems, that we really capture how the climate is also changing. Because this needs to be a process. It really needs to be a continuous process, making our systems more resilient and making our efforts to become net zero and decarbonize more resilient. Well, implementing a resilient grid infrastructure requires a good understanding of the system itself, but also of the external pressures, and in this context also climate change. So in my organization, I work a lot with my colleagues to make sure that we understand the science, that we understand the tools and the models that exist, and then translate this into decision support for our clients. So when we work with grid operators, when we work with infrastructure asset owners or with government, we really bring that knowledge together and say, what does this mean to your asset, to your system, and how can you start addressing this when you make new investments, when you try and upgrade your system or switch energy supply, for example. So it's a really it's an approach that starts with understanding the risk and the impacts and then finding the right solutions.
Our joint conference with ENTSO-E on adaptation and resilience of the energy infrastructure happened on the 14th of March. You can now access our materials and recording of the event on our website. Follow us to learn more about the resilient grid.